My name is Ray Wisman. This is my project proposal for C490 course. My project that I intend to do is peer-to-peer Bluetooth tic-tac-toe game. And by that, a peer-to-peer means essentially that you have the same application running on both devices. So we would have a maximum and a minimum of two devices that would be communicating over Bluetooth and would be able to determine, based upon who ran first, which would be the server and the client. And you still have a client-server relationship with Bluetooth. Question is, we need to determine on the fly, if you will, which one's going to be the client, which one's going to be the server. Where with TCP/IP, you might recall that we have been creating client-server applications where we have a specific one, different program. It's asymmetric. So we have a different program running as a server and a different program running as a client. So this is a little different. We only have to write one program. That's one advantage. So the user interface would look something like this, where we would have initially the first device to run would look to see if there was a server available. If not, then it would be the server. So again, we have to determine which of these are going to be the client server. So the first one to run looks around it to see if there's a device already as a server. If there is, then it connects as a client. In the case where there's no servers already running, it would look around for a server, not finding one. Then it would become a server, and it goes into a wait mode where it's waiting for a client to connect. A client, the next device to run this program, it would look around for a server, find the server running, and then it would play. So it would make the connection. They would now connect together, having determined this one would be the server, that one would be the client. And then they start playing. And in my uh, version of this tic-tac-toe game, the server gets to play X and it gets to move first. So they go back and forth playing until one of them wins or there's a tie. And at that point, they can decide mutually whether they want to play again or not, or they can disconnect. And if they disconnect, then we go through the process again. So if they decide they want both play again, then we would start again with the same rules. And just to keep it simple, the first one to run as a server would be playing X's, and the client would be playing O's. So it would just continue as a regular old tic-tac-toe game. The little bit of the details, basically to repeat what has already been discussed about the connection, that the first step is whenever one app runs and it looks around to see if there's a server already running. If there's not a server, then it becomes a server and waits for a client. If there is a server, then it connects as a client. So it has to make a choice. Again, just look for a server. If there is one, it connects as a client. If there's not a server, it becomes a server and waits for a client. So then the steps are basically what we've already outlined. Again, it's a peer-to-peer, meaning each app, it's the same app on each device, and it's just a determination of which one's going to be the client, which will be the server. And the steps then are the same on each of these devices, and it will go through these steps initially on connection. And if we decide to disconnect, it then resets, reinitializes, and repeats those steps. So that's my plan for the future, and I hope I can execute it within the time that we have in the semester. I'm sure I can. Very, very confident about this, and I'll be looking for your input and your advice and suggestions as we go through the semester. So thank you. I'll yield the floor to someone else now.